I don't know how many of us are ready for this conversation, but sincerely speaking, I think it's long overdue, and I think it's time we actually have this conversation. The question I really need to ask a lot of us that has been observing the things that have been happening in our space is, why is the church trying to confuse us? Or is the church confusing us? Like, whether you like this or not, this is the truth, and it has played out in multiple occasions. Now I'm going to be talking about these two stories. We're going to be talking about the Hilda Bassi story versus Chef Dammy and Damilola De Parasi, and I'm going to be talking about the Happy Boys versus the OPM pastor. And the reason why I'm talking about these two conversations is because they happened the same time. And it basically has to do with, the church and how it is affecting the lives of young people in Africa. Now, if we look at the story of Dami, we can tell the story of Dami is a story of a confused young girl who has been motivated by the church to go after somebody that she feels she should do better than, that she feels she has the stamina to do better than. The reason why I'm talking about this and the reason why I'm paying special attention to this is when we look at the tweets of Damilola, we can tell that there is a subtle jab from wherever she's coming from. And we saw this post from her where she said, "Oh, people are not supporting me because I'm not dressed like Hilda Bassi." She posted these two pictures side to side, and she took her time, or her team took their time to make sure that they were portraying Hilda in a manner that didn't look like a just manner according to the church standard. And if this is not enough to tell you that there is a fight going on in the kingdom race, there is a fight going on between people in the church, then I don't know what else is. The truth of the matter is the church is going against her own members. And my question is why? What are we actually fighting over? Whether you agree to this truth or not, anybody that is pursuing the Cookathon journey with Guinness Book World Record will not get the support of Nigerians like Hilda Bassi got it. Whether you agree with that fact or not, it's your cup of tea, but that is the reality. Because for crying out loud, even look at Taton's story. Literally, we noticed that she held this record for 5 years. How come this woman from Asia, from India, was able to hold this record for 5 years? How come it came down to Africa, or somebody tried to make an attempt in Africa, and the whole of Africa, the whole of Nigerians are suddenly scrutiny around, scrambling around, scraffling around to make sure that they beat the target? Who are we fooling? Anyways, now this is why I say the church is confusing us. The church is confusing us because I will tell you that they pushed this young girl to do this. She has come out to say, "Oh, I didn't do it for Guinness Book of Record." Now we saw a video of Chef Dami saying, "Oh, I'm doing this for the Guinness World Record because we want to win it." She comes back in BBC. She says, "Oh, I'm not doing it for Guinness World Records. I'm actually doing it because it's like more like exercise. Where I want people to come and see this small girl doing her thing." And then all of a sudden, again, we are seeing her say, "Oh, I'm doing 150. This one we did was just practice." And then all of a sudden again, we are seeing somebody that said, "Oh, I did this because of exercise," coming back to say, "Ah, we didn't even make up to 2 million. Well, people promised me, we don't know." And I will tell you, this is the reason why a lot of people are struggling in our African communities. Chef Dami and the supporters of Chef Dami are not patriotic Nigerian. Whether you like this or not, whether you agree with it or not, it is a fact that some of us know and we're still going to stand with. Now we're looking at Chef Dami being confused and being pushed by the church to go after something that is not even her dream. Because I went through her Facebook page, she still has a poet there. She's a student there. She didn't plan for this. She just woke up, maybe because of the guidance, maybe because of the support of her pastor, and said, "I'm going for this." And there's this thing of, with God, we can do it. Yes, with God, you can do it, but you have to have a lot of planning intact. Now, Chef Dami aside, because me, I don't even know. We saw pastors talking about Hilda Bassi in, "Oh, she's this girl that has this big ass. She's this and that. She's all into aesthetics. So it looks like she's not a kingdom baby." So Chef Dami is more of a kingdom baby than Chef Hilda. And maybe that is why this whole madness is going on. Anyways, moving away from Chef Dami, because that is clearly a confused mantra. And I will tell you, This is why we keep running around in circles, because people are not chasing after their dreams. More people are interested in doing what their neighbor is doing. More people are interested in fighting for their neighbor's dream than to fight for their own dream. And I can tell you, if you cannot go out there and create something unique for yourself, you're wasting your time and every other person's time. No means in my words. Now, looking at the case of the Happy Boys. Now, I've seen the Happy Boys stories trend. A lot of people have been talking about it, and I really wanted to skip it. But because it's just in the trend, and I mean, I need to learn my voice, I want to talk about it. Like, we should talk about it. Whether we agree with this fact or not, the OPM pastor got it wrong in a lot of ways. Now, we're seeing these boys complain that after 6 months of free scholarship, of course, we appreciate the fact. We all know the story of the Happy Boys. These were young boys that were working in somewhere far away in Aba. They were security guards dancing at work, and somehow, a fan, a customer posted their video, went viral, people, and they got sacked. And then they posted an update, oh, we've been sacked because we're dancing. And then people were like, okay, shouldn't be so. And then people came and supported them. Now we know that story. We appreciate the OPM pastor and his gesture. And of course, he has been doing a lot of projects. He's helping a lot of people, even with the Deborah. I've been following up his story, so we know who he is. But whether we say this truth or not, whether these boys are wrong or not, because they definitely did a lot of things wrong. Or how can you take somebody to a different country where they need to have their landing right, and you're not even providing any form of mentorship? That is even where I'm coming from, because whether we like this or not, when you travel abroad, the chances of you going haywire, the percentage is high. We all know that. So 6 months not communicating with his boys, 9 months not picking their calls, and then this boy shared this audio of him cursing them out, and then they came out to apologize when the whole of Nigerians were against his boys, and young men rather. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, the OPM pastor says, okay, you know what, we are revoking the scholarship in Cyprus, come down to Nigeria. And me, I'm like, why did we even start with Cyprus if we know we couldn't have finished it in Cyprus? I mean, let's check this whole thing. This Japa vibes thing, I think it's putting us in a lot of trouble. These boys probably would have done better if they were in Nigeria. They would have probably been doing better. I mean, like, I don't know, but it's just me saying. Now, where I actually blame the pastor is 6 months, 9 months, even if you don't have money to sponsor these children of yours, because I see them as, I mean, the OPM pastor is obviously their guardian. So he's supposed to be the one, or his team is supposed to be the one, because he's a very busy person. He's supposed to check up on these boys, find out what's happening, pick their calls at least. They claim he didn't pick their calls. Now, what is even getting me angry, why I'm actually talking about this, is that those boys actually said that they were not called, they were not informed about the return tickets. It just happened, they saw it online like every of us. And I'm like, what role is the church playing in the lives of these boys? So whether we like it or not, the OPM pastor and the church are responsible if these kids do anyhow in the Cyprus, because they landed them there because they lacked the proper mentorship that they needed. They're probably going to go haywire. I know. You can blame the boys all you want, but the truth is the truth. Some of these things programs need real time mentorship, and I feel like we're joking about this mentorship and mentee programs, and that is why we're not even getting the results we have from a lot of people, because we're seeing a lot of our young people going haywire. I don't know, but I strongly believe that there is something really going on in the church, and there are so many things that when we hear and we come and see how it is not applicable in our everyday life and our everyday reality, I'm like, what is going on? What stopped the OPM pastor from communicating with these young boys? If you can say you forgive them to the media, why not call them? Why not communicate with them? Why do you have to treat them like they don't mean nothing? I mean, where is the humanity in the church? That is my real honest question. And this is why I say the church is confusing a lot of young people. Chef Dammy's there running around, going for 150. If she likes, let her go for 200. The Nigerians that supported Hilda will not be the same amount of Nigerians that will support her in this journey. And whether you like it or not, the church is fighting an internal war that it does not even need. And well, it's not my business, but I felt like it's time that we have a real conversation about it. Let me know what your thoughts are. In my space, I love to talk about pop cultures, you know, from trends like this and real time stories. And of course, I just shared a popular culture that we're beginning to see in our church environment. And I will tell you, whether you agree with this or not, religion is beginning to bring a lot of problem, has always been bringing a lot of problems within the African space. And the earlier we start being smarter into understanding how to roll with some of this, we will continually be victims of these things. Avoidable incidents. That's what I call it. Let me know your 2 cents, and please don't come for me. But if you come for me, I definitely will know how to roll my shirt on. I'll roll my sleeves on, and of course, we're going to come and do it together in the comment section. I'll see you guys on my next one. For now, if you like stories on pop cultures, trend stories, real-time stories, this is the channel to be. Follow for more. Don't forget to hit me with your thoughts. I'll see you all in another one. For now, ciao ciao.